There you go.
Got it. All right. How's everyone doing? Good. Good. Aaron, what's up, brother man?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. It's just the beginning
So,
of the work week.
yeah, right. All right, we got some good people on here. Look, I see Zakia, I see James, Nina, Fred, Bob, Chance. All right. Look at this, some familiar faces. All right, so let's get started. First and foremost, I want to welcome on my guest and the one, the only, Aaron Aalcides. Some of you may know him, some of you don't. And for those who don't, Aaron, tell the crowd who you are, what you do, and why are you here?
Well, part of what I'm here is because he came first thing yesterday morning and asked me if I could be it.
Hey, it's okay to lie.
Well, I'm a full-time real estate agent here at the South Bay office. If you don't know where I'm at, I'm right on the. They put me way in the corner, away from everybody, next to the conference room. They couldn't handle me in the middle of the office. So, I've been in the industry for 10 years. 25 years prior to that, I was a bank executive. I mean, I understood real estate, I understood financing, and there was a little bit of involvement with real estate. And through my entire banking career, I always wanted to do real estate. But I was doing very well with that banking career, being one of four executives from Malaga Bank, which is actually one of their offices here in this building. And I used to come to visit the office, and I would look across Keller Williams, and I would see the agents, all dolled up and dressed up, and I'm like, I kept saying one day I'm going to do that, but it's very hard to go from a executive level job and go into a complete commission only career. And of course, my ex-wife would never support me on that, and now she's my ex-wife. So, so right after, literally right through the divorce, I said it's my time, and that's when I made a decision to switch careers and never look back. So now it's been. I was involved a little bit in the whole downturn with some investors consulting in real estate, and through that process, I got my license and started with Keller Williams down in Long Beach.
Awesome. And now you're, pretty solid producer. You're an ALC member, and tell me about that. What's it like being on the ALC, and why'd you decide to join the Agent Leadership Council?
Well, you get invited to be part of the ALC, and it was interesting because I was hired to go, not hired. When I came into Keller Williams, I was part of the Cerritos office. And because of my management experience, I was immediately invited to be part of the ALC. And I just felt that extra weight because everybody in that group, are the top producers of the company. But it was such a great experience. I like to be in the know. I like to be able to contribute. I like to be able to a degree, speak my mind, give my opinion. And that allows me to be during my prior life, I was on like 6 different boards for nonprofits, including a chairman of the board for the Torrance Chamber and things of that nature. Now I'm in the Torrance Education Foundation board. So being in a boardroom or being a part of an ALC was very natural to me. And I will even give my opinion on how the meetings will be or should be run. So I always I've been around that, so it's familiar to me.
I love that. I love that. And so when it comes to the last 10 years and coming from the background that you have, what would you say that sets you apart from, other real estate agents, in terms of your approaches and, the services you offer, what makes you you?
Well, I can't work from home. I'm more of an office type of creature, and I keep my schedule just like a full-time job. I show up at the same time, usually around 8 a.m. And I have my own process. I actually even do my own meditation here at the office whenever, nobody's here yet. I listen to my book on the way in. Right now, I'm finishing up the second biography of Elon Musk, which is an incredible genius, in my opinion. So I have a routine that I follow. I think that and I see it all the time because in the time that I've been here, I see how many agents come and go and why the attrition rate in real estate is so high.
Yeah.
It's right there. I mean, this past few years, it actually had gone down a little bit because it's been so easy to do business. It was actually at 86%, but the normal is 94% attrition rate. So out of 100, 6 make it. And I've seen that in the last 10 years of how many people. And the reason I think a lot of it is because people do business by accident. A lot of realtors don't do business as a full-time job or a lot of other things happen before business happens.
Yeah.
For me, I have a business. I have to run it, and I have an hour that I start and an hour that I finish. I combine a little bit of my philanthropy that I do, and I also include a little bit of fun in the middle of that. So it kind of breaks my day, and it allows me to be, fresh, and
Yeah.
for the most part, I stay pretty healthy.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, of all the agents I've seen in the last 9, 10 years I've been doing this, I've never seen anyone have so much fun doing this as much as you. I mean, you make your environment fun, and the people on your team, and everyone's always having a blast. And I love the attitude. It's just you bring a different dynamic than what I've seen in the past. And I think that's awesome.
I think it's really important. And
Yeah.
I mean, right now, yeah, just the past couple of days, I've been training my virtual assistant, and I'm teaching her how to smile when you're making calls, and then to get your, and that's why in the mornings is really important to me. My quiet time, my meditation, my visualization that I do. To me, that gets me in the right mindset.
Yeah.
It's almost like going to a listing appointment and getting into a big fight with someone, or either somebody you love or somebody in the street, and get in that bad mood and then go and get in front of a client. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a state of mind that I like to get to, and I like to stay there. And that's the same thing I do, and that's what I like to show up to an appointment earlier, because I just need to decompress before I walk in and get in front of that client. We have to have the right energy.
I love that.
And that's super important. You don't want to show up sweating, running, and now you're in front of the client, knocking the door, and it's just, you're not set for it.
Like some people do. I've seen a majority of agents do that. In fact, realtors are notorious for being late. So I'm actually glad you said you like to show up early and on time, and you're not sweating, you're well composed, and you've got the energy and the mindset to go in there and kill it.
Yeah, same thing with open houses. Same thing with, you have to, the open houses are not from 1 to 4. I mean, open houses are, you definitely have to give yourself that time. I have some great experiences with just showing up early, and it's just awesome. So.
Well, that's awesome. So give me some success stories, because obviously with the meditation, the mindset, I mean, give me some success stories. And then after the success stories, how do you find that work-life balance? But first, like what kind of successes does that mindset and the meditation and the audiobooks, like what has that brought you in your business that, give me a success story if you can.
Well, it's really interesting because I tend to have the majority of my clients, they're Asian community. And when I get in front of them, they always make a comment of like, they're very energy, they believe in energy, they're very driven by that. And they tell me that they actually they like my energy. And to me, that's super important. And that to me, that means that it's working. And about 70% of my clients are from the Asian community, being Korean, Japanese, Chinese. And, for a little time there, I was trying to read more, and I was trying to understand the culture more. And all of a sudden, I'm trying different things. And then I realized that I was not being authentic, and I just dropped it. And I said, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing, but but it's working. So
Yeah.
I went back to my natural way of being, and that has paid off. Now in reference to, you know, what that gets me, well, just a perfect example. You went to an open house on a listing that I have in Rolling Hills.
Yeah.
I had at my open houses, to me, it's just a welcoming. Every person that comes in just gets the same energy, gets the same treatment, no matter if it's the first one or if it's
Yeah.
the last one.
Yeah.
And just recently on one of the open houses that I did, I was able to connect with a few families, a few neighbors that now I'm in communication with. And I also met this family that needed to buy. And they asked me to, you know, if I found a certain property, a certain type of property, to let them know. Well, came back, looked for it, sent him a property. Actually, I showed him one of the neighbors' properties that I considered listing for 2.7. And but they didn't like that one because it needed too much work. 2 weeks later, I'm actually going to be closing on that on this property next
Wow.
week.
Nice.
Um,
Congrats.
I found them a $2.8 million property in Rancho Palos Verdes. I took their listing for 2 million, the one that you actually went to see me at.
Yeah.
And out of that same open house, um, I have a listing that's coming up in November for 2 million.
Nice.
Two of the neighbors are considering selling next year. I mean, we're talking about $12 million worth of business just out of that
That's
one open house.
that's
And,
crazy.
and that's one thing that's really important to identify. You know, we all are good at something, right? Gary Keller talks about the one thing, and yes, we have to have different sources of leads and business. But early on, I realized that I did very well in at open houses. I have kept track of some of the successes of open houses, and um, you know, just helping out an agent that actually left Keller Williams, went to another company. She decided to sell her home. She decided to list it herself. She decided to only pay $1,000 to the buyer side because the new broker told her to do that. And I told her, I said, you know, unless you get the buyer, nobody's going to bring you a buyer for $1,000. And so I helped her reconsider, put the commission at 2%. And I said, you know, I'll do an open house for you just to help you out. That one open house, she actually never even said thank you. And she got an offer out of that open house that I did for her. But out of that one open house, I got $8.8 million worth of business.
Wow. So two
Just,
open houses got you over 20 million in total in sales.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And until COVID hit, and this is a lesson to learn,
Yeah.
until COVID hit, my business was literally 90% out of open houses, listings and buyers. When COVID hit, I was scared because everything got shut down.
Yeah.
And that's when I started diversifying a little bit more because I realized that I only had one stream of leads, which was open houses. But that's when I went into my through my database. I kept my hours during COVID too. You know, I moved into one of the bedrooms at home, put a sign with the hours that I was busy, and I would go in there and just keep doing it.
The
And
consistency.
out of that, I mean, I had some great successes too there were this um elderly clients that I would follow up weekly and just to check to see if they were okay, and they would totally appreciate that. I have,
That's amazing.
and these are people that I met at open houses. These are people that I knew in the community,
Yeah.
and it's, you know, it's just having a plan and having a routine is extremely important in this business. And I don't mean a routine of coming to the office and just wander around. I mean a routine to do activities, of money making activities.
Yeah. I call them IPAs, income producing activities. So have your IPA. Now, I love that, man. I mean, when it comes to people saying, "Oh, the market's crazy," no one's buying or selling. You got $20 million off 2 open houses, so that's phenomenal. The way I look at it is, there's really no excuse unless you put in the time and you put in the work. And with the time that you're putting in, and to get $20 million worth of sales just within 2 open houses, that's a lot of clients. That's a lot of that's a lot of money on the table. How do you find that work-life balance to be able to facilitate caring to your clients as well as finding the time for yourself?
Well, it's I've always been a workaholic. For 15 years that I was with Comerica Bank, I never called in sick once. And the last 5 years that I was with Malaga Bank, I never called in sick once. So I have a problem. I do love to work. I love to work. But I make arrangements. I'm sort of like the coordinator at times here. I'm always like trying to make arrangements to go play golf. And that can be on a Friday afternoon, or, take one of the lenders, or take some other agents. And so I try to combine me keeping or letting some steam by doing activities. As long as you doing your IPA or your income producing activities first, then you actually are able to schedule or find those windows to where you can actually include it during your work week. And I'm used to that, because that's the same way I used to be when I worked practically when I was in banking 7 days a week, because I did a lot of in the community.
Yeah.
So I was always on the run, and it wasn't too much of a transition, because that's the way I am now.
And would you say that having a team, because you have a team, how many people are on your team currently?
Currently, the only 3 other agents are with me.
Have
I
you
have 5, but 2 of them actually, with the market change, kind of slowed down a little bit. And
have you found that to be leveraged by building a team to be able to help you find that work-life balance and to also
yes,
cater to other clients?
yes, it definitely allows me to get some of my weekends back, because I can go ahead and give them the open houses that I normally do. I am very thorough about teaching them how to do the open houses. And sometimes people try to reinvent the wheel, and it's very basic. I mean, if
Yeah.
somebody tells you, learn from the people that do it something and they do it well.
Yeah.
And when people listen, it's amazing what the results they can get.
Yeah. I love that. Well, right now, I mean, it seems like you're doing pretty well. So what would you consider right now to be some of the biggest challenges or obstacles in the current real estate market and your business and your team? And how do you navigate that?
Well, one thing I do not listen to is everybody running around the office talking about how bad the market is.
Good.
That's the first thing.
That's good.
Yes, I see the numbers. I stay up to date to what we're doing, what, 40% less transactions as an industry. But the more I talk about it, the less time I have spent lead generating. So I literally, don't get into those discussions. Right now, everybody's talking about the lawsuits and stuff, that they're worrying about what's gonna happen in the future, but they're forgetting about right now is the time that they have to lead generate and to do those activities that will produce some income. So I try to I stay informed, but I stay away of the negative talk. I stay away from everybody thinks that the real estate it's horrible right now. I'm gonna have the best quarter this fourth quarter than the previous 3. So I don't know. I think it's a mindset, and I think we need to go back to basics. Right now, the way the industry is, we kind of have to get belly to belly with people. We have to get in front of people as much as we can. Yes, social media is important. Social media works, but right now it's about being authentic and going back to the basic fact that people are going to do business with you for 2 reasons. They like you and they trust you.
Yeah.
Okay. They like you and they trust you. And how do you become that? Right? How do you become likable and how you become trustworthy? Because that's what's going to open doors. That's what's when you knock on the door and people, you there, you're authentic and you prepare about what you say. When you meet people open houses, just, how do you come across that you have their best interest and you have seconds to do it,
Yeah.
right? How do
Yeah.
you come across for people to actually receive you? Even though they're coming in, they receive you,
Yeah.
right? So that right there, I think that those are the things that we need to be working on as we navigate, the market slowdown, how we navigate the interest rates where they are. If we worry about all that stuff, that's what we're going to have in our mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm focused on just helping people. There's people that need help in this market. There's people that will sell in this market. There's people that will buy in this market.
Yeah.
And they're gonna buy it with someone.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you just keep showing up and you keep raising your hand and you keep being there, you're gonna get some of that.
I love that. Now, when it comes to the clients and everything, what's your communication style? How frequently do you provide them with updates, and how often do you talk to each one of your clients? I mean, obviously with so many and having one of the best quarters you've ever had, what's your style?
Very, very casual, respectful, but casual, friendly. Um, I like text because I can respond right away. I always ask them what's their preferred method of communication,
And how
and
often?
follow that. Um, keep them informed and never hide anything from your clients. Let them know if you can see something coming that it's not going to be favorable. I like to prepare them before it gets there. And the reason why is because it's easier. They already, in their mind, they already prepared when in case I have to give them a bad news.
Yeah.
So and just always have their best interest in at heart, and they will see that. They will see that you totally, when you care and you're authentic about it, they'll get it.
Yeah, because people don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
Exactly. And knowing is important, but you're right. Caring is absolutely it's just the right recipe.
Yeah, I've seen agents fail in this industry because they have commission breath and they're going after the money and they're chasing it. And I've seen some of the most successful, wealthiest agents, they don't chase the money. They do it because they care. They want to show the support, and they genuinely want to help people. And that's the mentality that you have to have coming into this industry is, if you can help one person or help a community out, it really reflects who you are as a person, and it establishes that trust and that base for, you're the go-to person for all the real estate needs, because why would they go elsewhere? That's what you
Yeah,
want.
and take care of those people that, especially the people that refer you business.
Yeah.
I have this one lady that I've sold her house that was referred to me by a financial planner. Just that one lady has referred me over $9 million worth of business. So you better
Wow.
know that she gets a lunch with me at least once a quarter.
Absolutely.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, she's just one. I mean, she always asks me for more business cards. So she literally has a stack of my business cards. She goes,
That's so cool.
I told her, I said, I think I'm gonna make you a business card just like mine with your picture. I'm just gonna put team ambassador or something
Yeah.
because because she just but she calls me and she has her entire family does business with me now. Actually, her nephew just called me that he's considering selling here in Torrance. I mean, those relationships are, there's nothing sweeter than, you having a bad day, or you just got off the phone, somebody just
Yeah.
wasn't nice, and then all of a sudden the next call somebody calls and says, I want to list my house and I need to buy, from a client, right? That has happened to me at a listing presentation with this Japanese family, actually, that was referred by my handyman. I went to
Oh,
Gardena, took for a listing of like the house needed a lot of work, $700,000 listing, and he asked me about the commission. I told him what it was, and I told him that because it was being referred by by my handyman that the commission was only going to be 5%, and because I wanted him to be my client for life. And
Yeah,
he goes, I like that.
I
He said,
like
I
that.
like that. By the way, he goes, this is not it. He goes, we're buying a house for $2 million. So that one thing turned into a cash purchase for 10 days, did a reverse exchange, 1031 exchange with them. And
Yeah.
so literally like 3 months later, I'm at this listing appointment, one of my agents that they didn't quite qualify the seller, and I'm like hitting a wall at this listing appointment. And I see the phone rings, I see his name. We were so done with that meeting that I just excused myself and picked up the call, and he goes, unfortunately, he goes, my wife's dad passed and we need to sell his house and we want you to sell it.
Wow.
I wrapped up that appointment so quick. So,
Oh my goodness, man.
so you know,
You have some great stories. Honestly, I wish this thing was an hour because I could go on and on because
fine.
you have
We
so
did
many
run out of
awesome
time.
stories. But we have 3 minutes, and I want to open this time up to anybody on the call right now who might have any questions for you. So if
I think
anyone
you have
wants
some
to,
in the chat too.
yeah, okay, we do. Let's see. Let's take a look. All right. Mouse is now working. All right. So Dolph was the first one here. How can we get in touch with Aaron? Oh, that's
Well, I'm here in my office. If my door is open, people can always talk to me.
yeah.
I do, and I'm very straightforward. If I'm in doing lead generation, I will kick you out of my office. Um, because that is sacred. I mean, and
Yeah,
that's what you need to do also. Even when you're out in the open, make sure that people don't just come and stand there and take your time. So
absolutely.
be dedicated to your craft.
Yeah, I love that. And it looks like how do you make people like and trust you? Well, obviously he cares, and relationships are big. And I see Jamie, you said, how do you get your clients? Open houses seems to be the good one, and networking. Alina said, what systems do you use after meeting people for the diet time? Does he use Command?
I use Command right now.
Okay.
I have used other systems in the past. Systems is, I always say, and there's this, any producing agent would tell you, the system that works is the one you use.
Yeah.
So, and immediately, with open house, you have to follow up. Don't go waste your time at open houses if you're not going to follow up with people. Spend it with your family instead.
Exactly.
Because if you go do a great open house and you don't do the follow-up, then those leads are dead. How many times do I call them until they tell me to go do something bad to myself? I don't stop.
Go pound dirt is the
Exactly.
proper term. Or pound sand. I see Julie says, do you prospect expireds and FISBOs now?
Some of my agents do. I retire from that a little while back, and those are different phases of business, right? As you progress in your business and you start getting a little more repetitive business and so on, there's some activities that if you don't like doing them, you leverage. In this case, I have agents that I have trained and they're good at doing it.
Yeah, love it. Well, is there any other questions that we have?
Hey, Chris,
oh, hey, hi.
Hey, I just want to say one thing about Aaron.
Yeah.
Great session, and it's always inspiring. But one thing for people to understand about Aaron, that he's also a visionary, right? Everything that he achieved is not a coincidence. It's just like product of just luck, and it just happened to be. He's a visionary, and I remember the first time we met, he came with an idea of what he want to do and how I want to get it. Maybe not everything was aligned exactly right away, with full clarity, but he had a vision. And you guys out there understand that people like Aaron, who are visionaries, and they're consistently using, the environment and their skill set and their strength, no matter what the environment is and what the climate is and what the naysayers, etc., they're succeeding. So I just want to point this out, Aaron. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love it. So, I see that Dolph has a lot of questions about open houses. Is this something, we'll wrap this up with this last question here. Do you have any techniques that you did when it comes to an open house? Was it trial and error? Did someone teach you? Did you learn from, someone else, or?
I wish I would have somebody I could have shadow, or maybe that was a good thing. I'm not sure. I just put my personality at everything I do.
Yeah.
And yes, I do have procedures. I actually have to the number of signs that I'm gonna put, I like to blast the neighborhood with as many signs as possible. I'm not the guy that's gonna have food. I'm not the guy that's gonna have that. I want the full attention of whoever shows up. And the idea is to get their information. And how am I gonna, and for you to have the right to get their information, you have to show up for them, and you have to, in a very quick way, you have to show them your skills. You have to show them that you care, and build that trust. And you have minutes to do it, and at times seconds.
I love it. I love it. Well, Aaron, I'm going to agree with Nikki on the chat here. You're fantastic, my friend. That was amazing. So it looks like Kim posted your information there. So if anyone has any questions about his open house techniques, I'm sure he'll be happy to share some with you guys.
And by the way, when Ignite happens in the office here, one of the classes I always teach is open houses, and I go a lot into detail what I do, the tools that I use, and everything.
Well, last two questions. Do you do twilight open houses, and do you only do them on weekends? Do you only do open houses on weekend, regular open houses?
Now I'm trying not to do too many open houses, because I need to feed my agents. But when I do now, I do them on the weekend.
Okay.
Before when I didn't have too much business, I did them whenever I could get them. I did them on Wednesdays. I did them on Fridays. Later in the hour, busy streets. I would just call other agents and get open houses, establish that kind of relationships. I mean, look, if no matter where you are, okay, no matter what area you're running, there are people within 6 feet from you. You should be talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always about prospecting.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think this was great. You have shared phenomenal things, and I see consistency here. The key to success for you has been, staying consistent, finding that, work-life balance, being able to have the right mindset, and sticking to open houses to get, one of the best quarters out of the way that you've done in real estate. And I think that's something that a lot of people on here can take and run with, because the beauty is in the simplicity with that. I mean, it's not like you did something crazy. You did one thing and you made it your own, and
Right.
you mastered it. And I think that's awesome. So,
Well, thank you for the opportunity as well.
yeah, no, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you jumping on last minute with me. And everyone on here, hey, thank you so much. I hope you guys have learned a lot from Aaron. Aaron's looks like Kim posted Aaron's information on there. If there's anything you need, feel free to reach out to him, reach out to me. Let me know what I can do. Obviously, he's a busy guy, so if you have any questions about open houses, and feel free to let me know as well. So I'll be happy to just find some stuff I could possibly send you, to leverage Aaron, because again, he's got a lot on his plate as it is.
All right, great.
So, all right, guys, have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Thank you both.
Bye, guys.
You're welcome. Bye, Kim.
Bye.
Bye.